trying to push the pace here. Mitchell back for Hull, little two-man game, and Hull sinks the triple.
The Fever versus Connecticut Sun game was one filled with intensity, high stakes, and crucial moments that had fans on the edge of their seats. From fast breaks to key three-pointers, both teams showcased their talents, making it a thrilling spectacle for basketball enthusiasts. However, amidst the excitement, one element overshadowed the players' performances: the controversial decisions made by the referees. Several pivotal calls, or lack thereof, seemed to shape the flow of the game, drawing attention away from the players' efforts. The referees' decisions became a major talking point, leaving fans and analysts alike questioning how much influence officiating had on the game's outcome. Let's break down the impact the referees had on the overall flow and the game's result. The role of referees in basketball cannot be overstated. They're the gatekeepers to fair play, the ones who ensure that both teams are on equal footing, that the rules are upheld, and that the game stays within the spirit of fairness. Referees are crucial in maintaining the integrity of the game, making split-second decisions that can change the course of a match. Without their guidance, chaos could easily ensue. However, in the Fever versus Connecticut Sun matchup, the referees found themselves in the spotlight for all the wrong reasons. Their controversial decisions and missed calls became a major talking point, overshadowing the players' performances and fueling frustration among fans and teams alike. There were multiple instances throughout the game where fans and commentators alike were questioning the calls made. One such controversial moment happened early on, where a clear foul was missed on a driving play by the Fever, leaving the crowd bewildered and in disbelief. This non-call was not just a minor oversight. It led to several missed opportunities for the Fever, including a lack of free throws that could have potentially shifted the momentum in their favor. As the game progressed, the growing sense of frustration became palpable among players and coaches alike. While it's common for games to have missed calls, the frequency and impact of these decisions during this matchup made it seem as if the referees were inadvertently disrupting the flow of the game. The players' and coaches' reactions indicated that these errors were more than just routine mistakes. They were pivotal moments that affected the outcome.
One of the most notable instances occurred during a critical point in the third quarter. A seemingly routine jump shot by the Fever was disrupted by an uncalled body check from the Connecticut Sun defender. As the Fever player went up for the shot, the defender made a clear physical move to impede her progress, knocking her off balance. The shot missed, and instead of the Fever being awarded free throws for the foul, the play was waved off as a no call, much to the dismay of the Fever's coaching staff and players. This decision created an uproar, as it seemed to go against the principles of fairness and player safety. The frustration boiled over as the Fever players began showing signs of agitation, not just with the non-call, but with the general inconsistencies of the referees' decisions throughout the game. They felt that crucial moments were being mishandled, adding to their mounting tension. In another situation, a defensive rebound by the Fever was contested by Sun players, but the referees seemed to miss an obvious over-the-back violation. As the Fever player went up for the rebound, a Sun defender made clear physical contact, extending over her back to secure the ball. This should have been an easy call, but the referees let it slide. The missed violation raised eyebrows among the fans, who were already frustrated by the earlier decisions. Calls from the crowd grew louder, with many feeling that the Fever were being unfairly punished by inconsistent officiating. With the stakes so high and such pivotal moments hanging in the balance, fans were left to wonder if the referees' decisions were unintentionally skewing the outcome of an already intense game. But it's not just the missed calls that made the referee's performance a talking point. There were also instances where questionable technical fouls were handed out in situations that seemed far too trivial to warrant such a response. On several occasions, the referees seemed to be overly sensitive to players' body language or vocal complaints, calling technical fouls at inopportune moments that could have been avoided with more discretion. These technical fouls appeared to be issued without much consideration for the flow of the game, disrupting the rhythm and energy of both teams. Players were often penalized for minimal gestures or mild verbal exchanges, which didn't seem to warrant such harsh punishment. This added to the growing feeling that the referees were taking center stage in a game that was meant to showcase the talent of the players. Instead of focusing on the on-court action, the referees' decisions shifted the narrative away from the game itself.
There's a scrape across the face. That's what Clark didn't like. And then Mabry came in with a bump.
And Mabry's day.
At the end of the day, the influence of referees on the outcome of a basketball game is undeniable. The controversy surrounding their calls in this matchup between the Fever and the Connecticut Sun raised serious questions about the consistency, fairness, and transparency of officiating in the league. The Fever, in particular, seemed to be on the receiving end of multiple questionable decisions, leaving them frustrated and unable to fully play to their potential. For the Fever, this game felt like one where the referees were more than just officials. They became an obstacle the team had to overcome, adding an extra layer of difficulty to what was already a challenging contest. The calls, or lack thereof, seemed to create an uneven playing field, forcing the Fever to focus as much on adjusting to the officiating as they did on playing the game. While it's clear that the Fever felt the brunt of some tough calls, it's essential to remember that refereeing in basketball is an incredibly tough job. Nonetheless, it's vital for the league to continuously strive for greater consistency in officiating, ensuring that both teams are given a fair shot at winning, without the interference of questionable calls. Only then can the integrity of the game be preserved. However, the issue of officiating in high-stakes games goes beyond just one game. It is about maintaining the integrity of the sport, ensuring that decisions made on the court do not overshadow the skills of the players. The best players in the world thrive on their ability to perform under pressure, and referees should not be a hindrance to that. Fans and players expect a level of consistency, transparency, and accountability from referees, particularly in critical moments of the game when the outcome hangs in the balance. When referees fail to deliver on these expectations, it doesn't just affect the team on the receiving end of the call, it can leave fans disillusioned, questioning the fairness of the entire competition. If officiating is perceived as inconsistent or biased, it diminishes the value of the game itself. Fans want to watch pure competition, not a contest determined by arbitrary decisions. This undermines the integrity of the sport and risks eroding trust in the system. The role of instant replay and technology in modern officiating is something that also needs to be considered. With the advancements in technology, there's no reason why certain critical calls cannot be reviewed. While basketball is a fast-paced game, and sometimes calls are missed in the heat of the moment, the evolving capabilities of technology provide a valuable opportunity to minimize human error. Referees are, of course, human, and mistakes will happen. However, it's important for the league to explore ways to utilize technology to ensure fairness, providing referees with tools to make the right call, especially in high-pressure situations.
Clear protocols for reviewing controversial calls could be implemented, ensuring transparency in decision-making. This would not only help rectify potential errors, but also demonstrate a commitment to maintaining fairness. By doing so, the league can build trust among players, coaches, and fans, ensuring that all teams have an equal chance at success without the influence of questionable officiating. In this game, the refereeing errors were not the only point of discussion. They were only part of the broader story. While the Fever were certainly affected by the officiating, it is equally important to acknowledge that they had opportunities to succeed beyond those tough calls. Players still have the power to take control of the game, to make critical plays, and to adjust to adversity. It is a testament to the resilience of athletes that they can remain focused even when external factors are working against them. However, the controversy surrounding the referees' decisions will undoubtedly linger in the memories of fans and players alike, raising questions about how the league will address these issues moving forward. The ability to focus on the game despite questionable officiating is crucial, but it is just as vital for the league to ensure that the officiating is fair and consistent to maintain the integrity of the competition. With the constant scrutiny referees face, the league needs to invest in continuous training and support for officials to ensure that they are making the right decisions on the court. This goes hand in hand with improving transparency, providing clear explanations of calls and rules, and ensuring that players feel heard when they voice concerns. By fostering a culture of respect and fairness, the league can continue to grow and improve the overall product on the court. Now, shifting focus to another heated moment from the same game, Marina Mabrey's foul on Clark when she body-checked her. This was one of the most talked-about moments of the match and raised some serious questions about physicality, fair play, and the enforcement of fouls in the WNBA. Let's set the scene. The Connecticut Sun were on the attack, and the Fever's defense was tight, with Clark in the perfect position to contest the play. As the ball was driven toward the basket, Mabrey, attempting to clear space for her teammate, made an aggressive move toward Clark. What followed was a clear body check that knocked Clark off balance, sending her crashing to the floor. The issue wasn't just that the foul occurred, it was that it went largely unaddressed by the referees.
For those who were watching closely, it was a classic example of what should have been called a personal foul. Mabrey's body check was not just a light push, it was a clear physical maneuver designed to disrupt Clark's positioning and create an advantage for her team. The fact that this play wasn't called immediately sparked outrage from Fever fans and players, who felt that such an aggressive move was dangerous and deserved punishment.
Be the last time these two teams faced off too. Sophie Cunningham suffered her ankle injury in that game, but in addition to that, she actually had part of her front tooth knocked out. She made contact with JC Sheldon as Caitlin Clark knocks down the triple.
As Clark lay on the court, visibly shaken by the impact, there was a noticeable delay in the referee's response. This hesitation only added fuel to the fire, as fans and analysts alike debated whether the referees were too hesitant to penalize Mabrey for what could have been a flagrant foul. The controversy deepened when replays clearly showed Mabrey's contact with Clark being far more than incidental. It was a direct, intentional hit to prevent Clark from effectively defending. The situation was further complicated by the fact that Clark had been playing a pivotal role in the Fever's defense. Her ability to stay in front of players and contest shots was one of the primary reasons why the Sun were struggling to get into an offensive rhythm. By knocking Clark off balance, Mabrey effectively took her out of the equation, forcing the Fever to adjust their defensive schemes. This moment marked a critical juncture in the game where the momentum could have shifted in the Fever's favor had the referees enforced the rules correctly. From a basketball standpoint, body checks are something that referees have to be vigilant about. The game is fast-paced, and players are often vying for position in very tight spaces, but fouls like the one from Mabrey are typically called when they involve clear physical contact that disrupts a player's movement. What made this foul even more frustrating for the Fever was the fact that it happened during a critical part of the game. With the Fever already facing an uphill battle, a call like this could have shifted the momentum in their favor. One of the biggest frustrations for the Fever, and by extension their supporters, was that the lack of a call in this instance seemed to set a tone for the rest of the game. As the game progressed, there were other moments where similar physicality went unchecked, and the referees appeared to be inconsistent in their rulings. This inconsistency was a major talking point after the game, as fans and analysts debated the broader implications of the refereeing decisions.
The incident didn't just stop at the moment of the foul itself. The aftermath saw Clark taking time to recover from the hit, and during that period, it was clear that the Fever were emotionally affected by the lack of a call. This incident was a defining moment for both the players and the fans. Some saw it as a missed opportunity for the referees to step in and uphold the integrity of the game, while others felt that Mabrey's actions were an unfortunate but unavoidable part of the high-energy nature of the contest. What this body check incident highlights is the need for a clearer definition of what constitutes fair physical play and what constitutes a foul. Basketball is a physical sport, but that physicality must be regulated to prevent dangerous plays and to ensure that players are not put in harm's way. Referees have a duty to protect the players and to call fouls when necessary, especially when the physicality crosses the line. As for Mabrey, she didn't seem to back down after the body check, which only added to the drama of the moment. While it's true that players in the WNBA are known for their competitive fire and tenacity, there's a fine line between physicality and dangerous play. A body check like this, especially in a high-profile game, raises questions about what constitutes fair play and what crosses the line into reckless behavior. The lack of a strong response from the referees sent a message that left many questioning whether this type of aggressive play would be tolerated moving forward.
Ultimately, the debate about Mabrey's foul on Clark highlights the ongoing issue of consistency in officiating. It wasn't just about whether or not the call was made, it was about how such physicality should be regulated in the modern game. As the sport continues to evolve, the question remains, how should referees handle physical plays like these? And what kind of impact will such decisions have on the reputation of the game? In conclusion, both the refereeing controversies and the physical foul from Marina Mabrey on Clark were defining moments of the Fever versus Connecticut Sun game. These moments not only sparked debates among fans and analysts, but also underscored the importance of consistent and fair officiating in basketball. As the WNBA moves forward, it's clear that the league must continue to refine its approach to both player safety and the overall consistency of its referees. The integrity of the game relies on